Good morning, folks. Bada boom, bada bing. I don't know where I got that from somebody. Got the AC unit going right now in the room, so it's making a little noise. Taking a look at what's going on around me, energy, and why certain things are happening, and it's all stuff trying to help. Come on, buddy, turn around. It's 5:45 a.m. Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. Now it's 5:46, just as I'm turning it around. 5:46 a.m. Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. First off, there's a video I made a few days ago that I'm going to list as private, and then later on it'll be listed as well, for like everything else, for the public. It's not time for it to be heard yet. I got woken up this morning to talk to you about something, and it's a good point. It's something that I need to bring up. It's almost 5 o'clock when I got up, but it takes me a while to go downstairs and get the coffee made and computers on and all that stuff. And I'm trying to be quiet about it because Deanna's sleeping in the other room. I would call it her room, but the whole house is hers. So there's a lot of things going on with people right now, ringing in your ears, people feeling themselves being touched. And the first thing, some of these nitwits on the well-known, popular, some of these nitwits on the internet, it's the aliens touching you. As 3.5 years old, I was sexually involved with an alien and made babies. It's like, dude, man, change the drugs, get better ones, or get off them. Some of the things people are saying are so out of this world. It's like, how do people fall into that? One of the reasons people lean towards something like that is because things are happening to them they can't understand. And that's what this video is about. This is what our little conversation is about this morning, or at least morning now. People's ears ringing. What's up with that? It comes and goes, comes and goes. If it's coming and it's going, something's affecting it, because it's not normal. It didn't used to be normal. Folks, now it is, because you're waking up, okay? A lot of people say, you know, if you believe there's shit coming out of some people's mouths, okay? Folks, I talk about stuff that no one else has ever talked about. Think about what I say. It makes sense. These other folks, sorry. I had to state things that I've done on the other side of spirit and what I am. That's important, especially for the next 100 years. None of it's about me. Any of you know me, that you'll know I'm very damn selfless, but I'm saying something because it's a fact. If it takes just a pinch of lemon or garlic to go in a different kind of pie and makes it better, although it's a taste thing, I tell you, because it's true. And you'll find, and the more you wake up, the more you'll find that out for yourself. You don't have to believe me. I tell people, make up their own decisions. I offer you information. Give it to you on a silver platter. Ears ringing. What's that about? Let's just take that. Sometimes you feel things. Sometimes you smell something. Sometimes you smell the fragrance of the perfume that your grandmother used to wear. Well, how can you smell it if it wasn't through there? Well, one of these idiots on TV, on the internet, you're going through a time void, and the aliens are coming to visit you because they knew your grandmother, and although she's dead, her spirit's with them now. It's like, wow, where do these people get this shit? Fuck. Excuse the French. And if you're French, excuse my slang towards you. Folks, that's all nonsense. If they could see anything, if they had any honor, you'd never hear that come out of their mouths. Anything for attention. Damn. Why the hell do you think this little third bedroom of mine in my house looks like crap? I'm throwing stuff up there that's good for you to notice, to see, to get your attention with, like different stones. Maybe a stone you like. My books aren't even up in a studio. I've written them. Jay puts them out on his videos, shows them all the time. Well, if I was that freaked out about it, they'd be up here in the background all the time. Actually, I should put them up there. There's just not enough room. Melodies, Love is in the Earth. That's big. UFOs, that's important. Mysteries of the World, you can't see that anymore. That's in there. Masaru Emoto, a totally cool, awesome man. Love Thyself. The guy's cool as hell. I know he realizes the body he was in is past, but doesn't matter. Who he is cool. He still exists. Anyway, back to things affecting you physically. When something affects you physically, the first thing you think is that there's something physical attacking you or touching you. You know something's going on. When your ears are ringing, you hear it. What the hell's that about? Let me give you another perfect example. Why do I give so many examples about things and relate them to myself? Number one, when they happen to me, I have a better understanding of it, so it's easier for me to try to explain it, to discern all the small little, facts. I was going to say factuals. You're kidding me, right? All the different little things about it. When something happens, when you have an experience, it's easier for you to describe in a way that people can consume the data, the knowledge, the information that you're giving them. And then it's easier for them to relate to themselves. I have nothing to gain by telling people my ears are ringing. It's happening all over the place. I've told everyone, so over the years I've been telling people, you hear a ringing in your ears, leave it alone. Do not go to the doctor for tendinitis, because your spirit guides are working on you so you can hear them better, so you can communicate better. This morning's perfect example of it. Excuse me. Deanna and I have our own rooms, but we are very close. I'm very close with a lot of family members, and one thing she knows is she can trust me. I mean, folks, there's always little trust issues and things between people. That always happens. But when you know in your heart you're safe with someone, because they're a protector, they know. And Deanna's strong as hell anyway. Excuse me. So where am I going with this? Well, lots of times we'll stay up and watch a movie. I buy a bunch. I don't have live TV, but I've spent a lot of money on DVDs to have something to watch. Lots of times TV programs. And sometimes we'll just watch TV and pass out. It's funny as hell. I snore like a son of a bitch, so I was Deanna one time said, "Damn, you snoring woke me up in the other room," and I'm like, and whatever, she was teasing me about snoring. I can't remember the exact topic, but I said, "Damn, really?" So then one time she caught me snoring, she got her phone recorded. The next morning I heard it and I said, holy crap. I'm surprised the police aren't knocking on the door. 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, it's funny sometimes the things that happen at night. I bought some special equipment. Dana will be using it later. And we're supposed to have had it set it up, thermal imagery and full spectrum. When energy puts out its own frequencies, which have an auric expression, as I've said before, it's in my DVD, Understanding Energy Frequencies and Their Auras. When you know the color and what frequency produces that color, you have an understanding of exactly what frequency is involved. Excuse me. The picture you've seen of me before, from inside an aura. I kind of have a funny look on my face. I was tired. I was sick. I was like, damn, get this over with. But because I was sick and healing, I put out a solid green aura. Part of it is spiritual healing, which is light green, but then it was a little deeper than a very light green because there was physical healing going on in my body. These are natural phenomena. You know, I don't feel good. Yesterday I got pretty much knocked down all day long. I couldn't hardly get up and move or do anything. But anyway, it's a natural process, a natural phenomenon. It's a simple thing. The word phenomenon doesn't really fit all that much like with excitement or anything. Once you understand what it simply is what it is. Doesn't make it better or worse. It's just that you understand it, accept it, and you're moving on to learn new things. Anyway, this morning it was a little after 4, and if you go in your bed sheets and take your hand, and the sheets have to be, you know, somewhat tight, empty, and you rub your hand on it twice, you hear that kind of a swiping sound of your hand on the linen. I heard that distinctly to where I knew somebody had just, you know, like went to wipe something off the bed. So the first thing that came into I woke up right away, and the first thing that came to my mind is something was wrong with Deanna. She was just, you know, making sure the corner of the bed was clean so she could sit down and, you know, tell me something. And there's a reason for that, okay? I'm going to tell you some things, and then it's going to seem that there's a contradiction in what I'm explaining to you as how to look at something, and then what I'm actually telling you there is not. I'm different. Why do you think I can crank these people up? Why do you think I cranked up my other family members so now they can crank you up? So when I leave, they can do this for you, and they're spreading all over the world? Remember, I've done thousands of these crank-ups. Well, I've cranked up thousands of people, put it that way. So sometimes I don't choose my wording properly. But anyway, I guess what I'm really always concerned about is the basic idea of what I'm saying. Anyway, why do you think I can? No one's ever done that in history of creation. It's not because I'm better than nothing, because I sure as hell ain't. It's because I'm different, okay? And because I'm different, and I do talk with our friends in space and stuff everywhere, I see what happens. When I have to focus on something that's happening and go get it, I can. It's more difficult for me to do. That and the fact that I'm leaving and have to finish doing everything is why I quit doing consults. I have to finish a few things, and I'm almost done. But I do talk with them. I can affect things in a harsh way in the second dimension, what people call heaven and everything else. No, that doesn't mean I'm God. There is no God. There's never been a God. There's been us at a body, And the first us was the original first being male that was itself, and then later on split itself into two different, slightly different parts. It split itself not quite in half, but because it was separating different frequencies as much as it could, but still had some of the same frequencies within it. So he would have company. It was make so not he, it would have company. It was making two separate parts for conversation to get rid of this horrific loneliness it had been suffering with. There's your God. It was the first person. Okay, it had problems. It had issues that just were happenstance, and now it's dead, and now it's gone. Excuse me. It had grown so abusive and so sick from what it would just happen to be made out of, and by what it wouldn't stop doing. Sad but true, whatever. Okay. Anyway, so because of that, I talk with our friends in space all the time. One time have I really been attacked, and it was by a ship. And that race right now, less than 14% of those physical beings exist in creation. Okay, you have physical bodies over here in the third dimension, okay, in different energetic type bodies in lower dimensions. Second dimension is nothing but spirit, okay, free form energy, who you really are. And first dimension is off limits. Nothing can get up there. And as we leave us up here, there's not fourth, fifth, and folks, it doesn't work like that. First means original is first, right? It was the first. That's hidden, you never see it. And then coming off of that is the second dimension, coming off of that is the third. And then in different locations, there's, you know, multiple dimensions. We have 8 dimensions below ours right here on this planet. But these other dimensions are all localized. There's the first original dimension that's hidden. There's the second one that's everywhere, and right on the outside of it, different frequency, is the third dimension that we live in, the physical realm. Welcome to the third dimension. You don't evolve to another vibration and float into a new dimension where everything is bullshit. It doesn't work like that. You have lives in other dimensions, but you don't go from one to another from your body, except when the body actually does die, and then you come out and you just literally go 1.5 feet to the right, 3 foot up into the second dimension. Except when it's visiting, everything's on the all spirit that's free form is in the second dimension. They'll come down here, run around. There's a lot of places, a lot of you, when you're out of your body, there's a lot of places you go back to with other people. You know why? Because you had fun when you were there. And you might have had a really good life, good friends. You like to visit those places. That's why when these Ghostbusters and stuff go to a place, sometimes there's a lot of activity, sometimes there's none. It's being haunted by ghosts. No such thing as a ghost. It's one of you when you're out of your body, or me when I'm out of my body, whatever. But anyway, back to the bed thing this morning. I heard something in the sheets twice, and I said, damn. So I looked up. It wasn't Deanna. Oh, the reason why I brought that up, sorry I talk in circles. There's so much to explain about what's going on. It's so easy for me to get taken off course. There's so much for you to understand. Why? Oh, maybe because you've always been told crap by your religions, your governments, and now the internet spreads so much bullshit. It's incredible. I shouldn't be cussing like this, but I really don't give a damn. Not enough to curb my tongue, I guess. I'm sick of this. Anyway, Deanna and I have had a lot of visitations. Shiny, this other beautiful Circassian lady, she's family too. The Circassians are incredibly good with botany, plants and stuff, but they're not bad with biology and everything else too, okay? They're very serious about understanding life and life growth, and on many levels. Anyway, they're the folks, the physical folks that are on that huge moon, I guess, is what you call it. that people call in Planet X or Nibiru. They had asked me to call it Nibhu, NEB/HU, something like that. So I'm like, okay, whatever you say. I don't know. Someone says, hi, how you doing? My name's Bob. I call him Bob. I don't make something up for him. Anyway, that's not very polite. So anyway, this is personal, but in the future it's going to be well known. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. I've had personal fluids taken from me this year, a lot, and I've had it done years ago, etc. But and the same with some other family members. I already have some children out there, but Deanna and I, our parts were put together. I'll leave that for any youngsters listening that are allowed to hear a little bit of rough language from time to time. I don't cuss to be whatever. It's not showtime. It's frustration. I'm frustrated. I can't do enough. I'm supposed to be doing more than what I'm doing, and it's just frustrating. And there's so much stuff that's wrong on so many levels that needs to be fixed. I want to go to work. Anyway, she and I, through that process, outside of body, we have 14 children. 14 embryos growing right now. The FBI calls me the freak. Wait till they meet my kids. And there's other children already out running around. There's ways to have children that's not painful, but also in the very earliest stages, if there's any type of DNA sequencing issues, they clean them up. It makes for a healthier race. It's just when you get into cloning where you start having issues. Okay? Cleaning DNA is healthy. Cloning is not. You do it once or twice, it's one thing. You do it repetitively and you will literally lose a race. They just die out. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. So then after I got up and saw it wasn't Deanna, and I was immediately like, well, before I even got up, I knew it wasn't her. I looked, there wasn't anyone there, and then I was seeing some other folk that were here, but that's, you know, spirit, sentient energy. It wasn't anyone doing anything else. There wasn't anyone here physically. And then I just relaxed because I knew what it was. You know, when I relax, when I go look for the physical immediately, and then look for it, I start spreading out from there as far as spirit. And I'm seeing other spirits hanging around, and folks that were kind of farther away looking at me, but not getting too close. When you excuse me, folks. When you astral project to see someone, you usually astral project right in front of someone's face. You see that, you can see like about a 6-foot face right in front of you, the image of it, but you see through it. I've done that before when I was worried about someone, and consciously I wasn't hardly aware of it. I just had the intention to go look at someone and to make sure they're okay, because I cared about them, and they had just had a problem. I did that years ago to a friend of mine, a new friend, and she, you know, she was physically steady when I was over there staring, just looking at her. Just, it's like a blank stare. It almost looks like a monster staring at you. When something doesn't seem to have any emotion, a lot of people think, "Oh my gosh, it's a monster." Like when a real angel looks at you and stares at you when it goes by, goes by. There's like no emotion. The earliest angels, new angels aren't like that. They're totally different. Anyway, and that's because the way the first angels were made. Okay. Anyway, you'll think they're a serial killer because they have no emotion whatsoever. They don't show it. It doesn't mean they want to hurt you. It just means they don't understand or show emotion. They've never had a life. Angels have never had a life. So anyway, had the blank stare, and she just looked at me and she said, "I'm okay. I'm fine. Just relax." And then I left. But I was hardly even aware I was doing it. Folks, there's all kinds of stuff you're all going to become aware of about yourself and others around you. That's why this information is important, whether it's now or for your grandkids. It doesn't matter, because it is for everyone. So anyway, flowing along with that thought process, I saw nothing physical, and then I reached out past that. This is a natural process for me, because this is life, the real thing. So I looked past that. I didn't see anyone astral projecting here, or in a trip chair or something like that. The people can beam in off of ships and be somewhat partial, where they can move stuff around. There's a lot of stuff going on. But I was, sorry, every once in a while my heart skips a beat. It's just it's kind of weird with the brain and everything just clicking, my energy getting stronger, and then the body's just quitting. So at that point I said, okay, well, I have to go inside my head, go back in time and just look at the event happening. And you don't think about going back in time. You just go back into your head and think about what you heard and see what's happening. You do go back in time all the time. Like I said, over 2/3 of the time you remember something, you're literally using your metaphysical abilities to go back in time and look at it. And that's another power of the solar plexus oriented people. You're going to find they have better memories, because they can go back through time and see things clearer. They do it through the scanner, okay, and then infuse knowledge, because the solar plexus is almost completely buried inside the dual core energy, dual spirit energy core inside your body, what they call the Kundalini. Again, it's a simple understanding of what's happening by seeing so many different parts of the pieces of data that I've accumulated over time. Excuse me. Of course, now I just look at it and see it. It's been like that for a long time anyway. People, I don't get this stuff by making it up, reading some goofy books and then trying and then making up my own conclusions. I see it. People have asked me, how do you see that? It just makes sense. How did you know that? And I said, I'm the guy standing at the corner of that intersection watching. That's all. So I used to get called super psychic. Boy, I did not like that. It's like, take that thought process and dump it, man. I'd rather be called the janitor. Fits better. Anyway, so I looked back into my head, and then I saw Gaia, this strong part of Gaia that's with me, literally making that noise in my head. The past few days, she's been working on me hard. I guess it's going on a week now, and she literally produced went into my brain. Well, she's in my brain, but right now, been there for a while, and she's welcome because she's taking good care of me. It's a strong part of Gaia. Gaia is huge. She's got different pieces of herself she moves around too. Anyway, so she literally produced the frequencies within my head that would make me hear that. I physically heard that as far as I knew, but it was the actual, when you hear something and the vibration that goes into your ears, and then you hear something, she used her energy to produce that vibration in my ears, so I literally heard it. So I literally heard it, but it never happened like that. She produced those frequencies within my ears to make me, quote unquote, hear that sound. Okay? Did it happen? No. Did it happen inside my ears? In my head? Yes, she did it. Same thing could be done with all the olfactory senses, all the senses. That's why your ears ring, folks, so they can communicate with you better. They're trying hard to communicate. Everyone's DNA is changing. Everything's changing now. It's very slow. It's very soft, but it's going in the right direction. Got something on my eyes. Anyway, and that's real. That's dust flying around or something from my hands. So many people are so worried they're being attacked. Folks, that almost never happens. I'd like to say it's 1 out of 1,000, but it's more like, excuse me, had to go to see something and your glands and your brain do move around, and that's pressure in your head, and that's why I got to pop my ears sometimes when I go to do something. Your brains, especially after I crank you up, your brains, or you get cranked up, your brains start growing. It's not just me. Siobhan, Deanna does it, Burju, Paul, everybody. When they crank you up, your brain starts growing. And folks, there's a lot of people, I just can't mention them all right now. And that kind of conscious thought process is really hard for me anymore. I'm literally just leveled out of my body all over the place. I keep coming out more and more. I'm so less attached to my body, but not my process, what I'm here to do. Anyway, so that's what's going on. You're not being attacked. I've said I can do things on the other side. When spirit is free of a body, I can't do everything I want to, but I can do things to literally help spirit in a way, make it so much stronger, and I can also do the opposite. Other than that, that's all. I'm in a body. I can't heal a physical body. I can't, do that. Now, have I? Yes, but that was not just me. It was the spirit outside of me that actually made the physical repairs. So can I say it's me? I guess yes and no. If I say I do something, people, if they're thinking it's the actual physical me just doing it, having complete control, no, that's wrong. It doesn't work like that. And so what? I don't want to be known as the mystical healer. He's telekinetic. That's not what I'm here for, man. I'm here to give you information. You get someone doing all that stuff, where does that go? Another Jesus Christ. No. Well, that stuff is crap anyway. Never happened. He walked on water. Yeah, if you find the right place where the tide's low enough, you can walk on water. It looks like it. Then you can just make up stuff. The child of God. Mary was never made pregnant, yet she had a child. Bullshit. The stuff these religions feed you. Anyway, So, folks, that's what's going on. The other side is manipulating your body. People, my grandmother, my dad's mom, would come by and see me all the time. She touched very slightly, touched the top of my head with a spirit. Now, she, out of the body, she can make her energy strong enough to literally move the hair on the top of my head. What little there is. You can't see them. There's a couple little teeny things. My fuzz up there. And then later on, I've said before on video that when my mom was adopted mom, I'm adopted, 2 other sisters, same way. When mom was getting ready to pass, to become herself again, to be released from the body, so she and the spirit in the body could both be free, she touched me in the side. So it's respect to each other to touch a different part of the head. Folks, when you're spirit, you have no idea how smart and cool and knowing you are, intelligent. I mean, it's nuts. If you did know, I don't think you'd want to be in a body anymore. You think when in your body you can feel these neat things. You have no idea what you can feel when you're out of the body. Like I said, you take a tuning fork, okay, and then tap a tuning fork. You hear that beautiful sound, a nice high crisp high vibration. It's beautiful. And then you take it, you stick it in tar. What do you get? Nothing. Well, what you feel while that tuning fork's in the tar, what you're feeling is nothing compared to what it's like when you're not stuck in tar. Okay, it's not just simple, it's true, it's factual. It's not a fact to me. Cool, no problem. I don't care. Just because you don't want to believe something doesn't mean I'm not telling you the truth, because I am. You'll find out about it later when you pass anyway. It's no big deal. Why? Because this crap's not about me. That's why. Come on, man. I'm as simple as an old, tired, dying man in overalls. And I'm good with that. I just want to get out of here. So anyway, and why? Because I want to go to work. I got stuff to do. I've gotten a lot done while I was here. You'll find out about that when you get home. I've spoken of it in that video. That's well, whatever, I won't even go there. That video that I'm going to put up there that won't be posted, that's a blatant, it's factual, blatant. It's important for people to understand themselves, and it's not time for that. Anyway, when you do hear it, though, you'll know it. You'll notice it because of the timestamp. There's a lot of reasons why I do that. One of the reasons is so as I get stronger and change and go through these different stages, I'm leaving you a little footprint thing so you can watch. Animals being used for testing and everything is fracking wrong. So having said that, a very poor analogy is that I'm the guinea pig of an experiment to show you something. When Arae and Lily are free and together and starting to change the way people have lives and everything else, the folks that are the elders that are going to be your new council members that are going to run, you're all going to run yourselves, okay? These council members are going to watch us screw up. Now, why would we do that? It's because we need to be the omnipotent, perfect God. No. Well, that stuff is bull crap. No such thing. We're all family. They'll watch us screw up. As we learn, so will they. But it's teaching them why something doesn't work, so they don't make the same mistake. If that's not open, honest due diligence, then nothing is. that's what's in the process of coming out. Sometimes you feel something, see something ringing in the ears. You feel the pressure in your head when you're being worked on. Folks, you don't have to get cranked up to start feeling those symptoms. It's time for people to start waking up more. Okay, but when one of my family members, source family members, cranks you up, and that's the only thing they can do, the source, you have to have the power level plus all frequencies that exist are in these folks. You have to have those frequencies within you to manipulate it. Then you have to go through the field. You have to do it through the field. So that's what'll allow it to happen or not, or help it. And if it's going to be allowed to happen, it's going to be helped. So, because that's the idea, isn't it? Everyone waking up. And these people do this, you know, very inexpensively. And to all you all out there, I said I was going to be listing your names on Essex.com. I am, but we're trying to get things settled enough right now where that can happen. Deanna and I were talking about it last night, you know, and I told her, I said, hey, you know, I need you to do that for me because I can't do it. I know how busy we are. And she goes, yeah. You know, how about when I can stop for a minute and sit down, you know? And I'm like, hey, I'm not pushing you. And she knows. She's just got so much she's doing, man. It's just crazy. And she gets slammed, too. She has days like me, sometimes even the same, you know, both of us together just get knocked out. Bam. It's being changed for what's coming. It's Gaia doing the work. Deanna sees who it is, knows who it is all the time. She's really strong heart energy, but she's got so much of my actual power. It's like a huge hammer. She sees things, just knows things. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone's different. We're all different sets of different frequencies with different percentages of how much of this frequency or that frequency. We're like snowflakes. I'm just grandpa. I'm the old fart. So don't think that you're being attacked because you're not. I've said this before, maybe one video, maybe two, but I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it. Someone close to me has a brother who's close to me too now, and I was told, she told me, she goes, my brother, you know, has this fear. And as soon as she said that, I went right and saw exactly what she was going to say before she said anything else. And then, of course, she kept talking. I just started laughing. Excuse me. And she said, what's that? I said, call him up, get him on Skype. So he did. We were talking. And he could even see the shape of a Serpoian, Eben, you know, whatever you want to, whatever name they want to give us. They're from the planet Serpo. We call them Greys and stuff. I know. So we started talking and everything. I told him about this fear he has and shapes, and he goes, yeah. And I said, and you've had that ever since you were about 4 years old? He goes, yeah, man, I was a little kid. I said, let me tell you what happened. And this is, here you go for your perfect, the alien's perfect, and all. Nothing's perfect, no such thing. And there's never been a God. There's just been all of us, family, all a little different. And we all came from the original first being that made itself male and female, and then put their energies together later, released energy, and here we are. They don't have to be male and female to do that, but this first being did it so that it could have company. Wouldn't be alone anymore. Anyway, so what happened was he's important, has a very important job, and he's he was out. He was in bed trying to go to sleep, and he was getting visited. 4 or 5 Serpoians, okay, Greys. Well, they have a device that they use that they turn on when they go in. Doesn't affect them. They turn it on, they go into the area, and it literally makes everyone pretty much asleep and not remember anything, even though they're still functioning, okay? But it knocks you out. The birds, dogs, and everything hurts nothing, okay? So when they do mess with your memory a little bit, they can go in and affect it softly with that, or you know, there's another way to do it, but that's basically what it is. It's not a complete wipe, but they put you to sleep so you're not aware of it, okay? Yeah, you're still somewhat functioning. So anyway, they saw he was sleeping, okay? They're beaming in. And then they go up to him and start getting near him, and then he wakes up and sees him. He freaked out when he saw them, but they freaked out when they saw that he saw them. They freaked out, okay? And then they backed right out, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The one of them that's supposed to turn on the device to put him, you know, pretty much to sleep, forgot to turn it on. So everybody freaked out, but it had such an impact on him because he saw it. If that energy would have been put on him, he wouldn't have hardly remembered anything. Just had the feeling within his spirit that something had happened. Okay, this is all important. Please listen to this, okay? See, this is who you are, what happens, how we do things. Somebody can put you under, but you still be aware of things. I had my right knee replaced. They had to cut it out and put in a prosthetic one. I woke up in the middle of the operation. I woke up like, what the? And then they go, you okay, you okay? I said, yeah, because the 2 scrub nurses right there put their hands right on me. He's just, relax, sit down. I said, yeah, okay, no problem. The doc was freaking out. So then he said, knock him out. Knock him out. Make sure that doesn't happen. This guy's, you know, missing his knee there. It's funny. Anyway, but that's why he freaked out. That's why he had this fear. You see, they couldn't go back into him and take it out. Okay? So, and the guy just forgot to do it. It was a screw up. Guess what? They're quote unquote human too. Ever since people started understanding that this God thing is a false concept, they're looking for something to replace that God concept. No, there is not one. There is no such thing as a God. There's no such thing as any existent, perfect, loving being that wants praise. If something was worth praise, it wouldn't want it, number one, and number two, it wouldn't allow it. Why? Because it makes no sense. It has no value. It has no value except to itself for praise. That's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. If something really cared about you, it'd be taking care of you. It'd be benevolent and taking care of you, protecting you, not, you know, not telling you to praise it. And it wouldn't want anything for what it does. You'll find a lot of my Source family members, not all of them by any means, but a lot of them, it's hard to accept thanks sometimes. It's not because you don't appreciate it coming from someone, but it just doesn't fit. You do it out of your goodness of your heart because you want to. The thank you, the value in doing what we do is when we see someone better, see someone smile. Makes me feel like $1,000,000, man. You can't put that in the bank, but you keep it in your heart. That's what matters. It also helps your heart grow, folks. I'm telling you, love is the most powerful thing there is. People think of power like a forged hammer hitting a forged anvil. No. That's not the thing that shapes planets and civilizations and everything else. The hammer is a good analogy of the impact of power. Well, anyway, all this stuff you hear on the internet, folks, is garbage. You know, what I'm trying to say there, that was a loose comment. All the stuff you hear about aliens attacking you and the government sending rays into your head. They're controlling me through HAARP. The reptilians have a soul net where they're catching the souls. We're trapped here. That's all the biggest ton of crap. And anyone who uses fear like that to capture an audience, they're really close to getting to the point where they will be trapped in their own fear. What you giveth shall you take awayeth. Sounds like something out of a religious book, huh? But hey, what you put out, you're going to get back. I told you karma's a bitch. It's about time it existed in a very real way. Hard change comes hard. I've been saying that for a long time. That's because I know that for a fact. Anyway, whatever. All I want to do is offer some good information. I was just literally, my energy being pulled over here for something. Here's some nice amethyst. Hard to see through these containers, I know. And some nice citrine, smaller pieces. I put in the spheres. A lot of the spheres I use a large stone or small stone. Some of them I put together right here. Shungite, crystal, citrine, little selenite, different amounts of different stones for different reasons. That's part of what goes into Merlinite spheres, Merlin spheres. I just made one. Oh yeah, the one I just made for you, young lady, that's already on its way. That was personally made for you because, you know, we had talked about that, but at the same time, the Merlin spheres literally bond the flow. It straightens out, evens the flow between the body, physical body, and the brain. It really helps everything move nice. You wanted yours personalized a little bit. You're going to feel it more in the head. You can feel, when you relax with it, you'll feel the whole flow going through the body, but you're going to feel it harder in the head. That thing's loaded up with some star essonite, okay? As that energy flows through your body, you feel it more in the head, but it's going all through your body, heart and everything else. I had to keep it the Merlin sphere, but at the same time, the star essonite just kicked it up harder. Excuse me just a minute. Thanks, folks. Just wanted to turn the AC off. I had a little bird talking to me for a minute. I wanted to hear what he or she was saying. It's she, but it might be, I don't know if it's in a male body, though. Wow. That's nothing to talk about anyway. When you look at creation and the way it was set up, in many ways it's kind of sad. And it was all because the original first being male and female had to have that attention, had to have that praise, because they were so alone in the very beginning. So that's it's sad. When you understand something, it'll take away some of the anger, but not any joy. The more you understand things, the more anger there's no need for it, because you understand. But it won't take away from the joy. That's a nice thing about gaining wisdom, becoming your full self, understanding. I talk about the atrocities of creation, and some people think, well, gee, Jay's just a negative thing. He focuses on the negative. No, I don't. I'm telling you about things you're not aware of. I'm helping you understand why certain things happen that you can't explain. And I'm also telling you they're going to change. When I leave, I have, let's just say I have something to do with it. And it's like, oh, no, that's what he said, is to bring praise on himself. No, I can't stand it. When people really go out of the way to give me a hard time, I go at them head first. Before that ever happened, people started trying to make stuff about me. I shut that down hard, viciously. Because that's just, to me, it's more wrong than it is, I don't know, not about someone being abusive. It's just, look, it's just flat out wrong. It's like a messiah complex. That's stupid. Nothing's any better than you. But you know what? We're nothing better than anyone else either. If you don't have equality, just because something exists, you have nothing to build a family upon. If you have a brother or sister that's handicapped, why would you think you're better than them? Chances are, if you're a good person, if you're listening to me, almost everyone that listens to me is, you would be caring about them and give them extra attention. That's family. Not all the stupid crap you hear on the internet and everything else, your religions. God loves you, praise him. Oh, yeah, you got disease and death. Oh, you dying slow? Gee, too bad. Praise God more. Pay us more money. How do they get that money to God anyway? Whatever. So anyway, when you're feeling things in your head, folks, and stuff like that, you're not under attack. And sometimes there's pressure in there that you're not under attack. Sometimes your stomach feels like you want to throw up. You're not under attack. Sometimes your heart will feel a little funny, fluttering in and out. You're not under attack. When your heart feels like that, your heart's being cranked up, made stronger. It's literally you're being helped. When your gut feels funny, sometimes it feels like you're hungry and want to throw up at the same time. That's your solar plexus being worked on to make it come alive and to make you stronger. When your head starts getting a little thick in and out, that's literally your pineal, everything else in there growing. Waking up first and then later on softly growing. When you get cranked up, it's hard, strong. You feel it more. It's not painful, but everyone has different limits as far as pain goes. I'm pretty abnormal about that. When you've had 4 or 5 head-on collisions, and you've been doused with gasoline in a work accident and lit on fire, burnt 60% of your body, yeah, pain becomes just a simply, relative thing. I used to work turning wrenches, fixing cars for many years. I enjoyed fixing things, making some kind of improvement somewhere, you know, making something better. Sometimes, I was talking with Dan about this, sometimes I take my hands and I just go after something. I know it's wrong. I put my hands in there, start working on a car. I pull my hands out and I'd be burned. I'd be cut myself, be bleeding. You know, you don't even think about it until the end of the day when you go to wash up, get all the dirt off you, and you put this that soap and some of the grit too goes inside the skin, and you find out then. So some people feel that more than others. But folks, don't worry about it. When you're outside your body, just like the spirit guides working on you, they're your friends. They're just not in a body. And they've been in bodies they pretty much remember. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to help you. So they have access to their full abilities. You don't, because you're in a body. So try to trust them, okay? They're you when you're not in a body. No magic, no ghost, no aliens. Ooh. No government plots. Government's screwed up, folks. There's all kinds of crap wrong with it. But everyone's growing, coming awake, and you need to understand what's happening. Otherwise, if you don't understand what's happening to you, and you're seeing and feeling all these things, and seeing, some of it is seeing, you think you're being attacked by this, and no, you're coming alive. That's why this video is important. To take away some of the fear that not knowing gives you, that these schmucks on the internet give you. Don't be afraid. Relax, accept it, and grow. Very soon, anything that attacks you actually does attack you, which it's, I don't know, 1 in 100 million? It's not even 1 in 100 million. There's less of a chance of 1 in 100 million by far. I don't even want to say it. There's like no chance of that happening. Soon, when something does, it'll be attacked. On the other side, we're able to see things like a day or two ahead or a day or two behind. And when the stronger you are, that actually goes, well, to a lot more than that. So you can stop something, but sometimes you need to let something just begin to happen, or someone to engage in a faulty process, and then stop them and smack them. Because if you stop them before they go to do it, they won't learn anything. They won't understand why, you know, they're being smacked. So it's like, so you might have a young child around the house and they're getting near something they don't need to touch. You wait till they get near it, until they make that movement, and then you stop them. You don't hurt them, you just stop them. But as spirit, sentient energy, folks, that's not like being a body. That's serious stuff. When you're your normal self, things are serious. And right now on the other side, it's even more so. Everything has always been run by abuse, arrogance, and everything else, and that's changing. That causes a lot of issue with people who are really arrogant and abusive and want things to be about themselves. That's not going to ever be allowed again. Very soon, that'll never be allowed again, and then when it does happen, because it will on and off, I don't mean to people in body, I'm talking about stuff out of a body, then it'll be handled immediately. What's going on in body, that'll start getting hammered too. It's called karma, but it's different. Your spirit will live forever unless it really screws up. There is something that can kill it, permanently delete it. So Anyway, folks, you have more protection than you've ever had in any of your lives, ever. You have fewer controls demanding one or another thing of you. Except for the problems that are around us in the physical world, there's never been a better time to be alive, and that's going to change soon. But when you feel something, think you see something, which you did. Something's going on. Now, sometimes your head's getting worked on real hard, and then you go to see something. It's trying to understand what you see. Okay, it can make it a little fuzzy when your head's getting worked on hard. You're not being attacked. You're being helped, but to become who you really are. So there's not a government satellite with a beam coming at your head. Anyway, so when you hear stuff on the internet, oh, I was this, I was that, I was attacked by this, I was attacked by that, then they do this, and then they do that. I actually heard this one schmuck say, yes, and then the way the aliens do stuff, they have screwdrivers and tools to do stuff, but they use their minds to telekinetically turn them, because their hands don't work like that. Bullshit. Really? Unreal. Different race work. There is a beautiful community outside, and some of the other races that don't have little hands to do things, there's other races that help them with that. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on that no one understands, and they try to make up reasons for it. No. Where does the understanding start? With you sitting in a chair, chilling out, relaxing. Relax your body, let your mind go. Just make sure the doors are shut, the doors are closed in the house, the gas is off. Excuse me, if you have a gas stove or something, the water's not running, and your car's not running. And then just sit down. Relax. Give yourself just a minute of time out of your day when you just relax. Just say, for the next 60 seconds, this life of mine, this bitch is mine and I own it. Just relax. Or you ladies say, this bastard, whatever. Just say, right now, this time is mine. Do a couple breaths like that. Just deep breaths. Bring it in and then throw it out. And when you throw it out, throw all your crap that worries you. Just throw it out. Don't worry about it. Breathe in again. Relax. Just take some full breaths. Don't try to suck in the clouds and hyperventilate. Just take full breaths and just relax. Your conscious mind is going to want to think about everything. Don't. Think about a mountain lake late at night, or the ocean where there's nothing out. The ocean has a lot of activity. If you think about a quiet mountain lake and the moon's, moonlight's starting to come up on the water, and then you see a soft sphere just kind of floating right above the water, that's you. That's you. Make that you. That'll help you relax a little bit. Then when you do, just open up and accept whatever's out there to come to you. See, that's another reason you need to know there's no aliens with telekinetic screwdrivers coming at you. All kinds of stupid stuff. No, Jay, what I listen to isn't stupid, man. These aliens are watching us. They're coming at... No, they're not. The government's attacking me. They're shooting me with... No, they're not. Fey imps. literally will take their energy sometimes like a little spear and poke you in your legs, usually below the knees and down. Not often, but sometimes that'll happen to you. If that does happen, just think about, take your hands like this, make like a big energy ball, okay, and just literally put it on them. And just think about burning them up. And you're strong enough to literally have an effect on them where they're going to leave. And that happens almost never. The most they usually ever do, it would give you a little prick to touch a nerve. Remember, what goes through nerves? Electromagnetic energy. One of the 5 energies that may create a sentient spirit, that makes spirit sentient energy. They see it. Oh, that was just something hit my, I get this little prick. It was usually one of those. They might want to say hi or something, but it's small, doesn't hardly ever happen. Everything's changing in a very good way, but taking out the trash, sometimes you throw a wet mop around, okay? Makes a little bit of a mess. It's not the cleanest thing sometimes. So, although there might be a little discomfort, it goes away. So, try not to worry about it. The stone with energy to help you for understanding is celestite. Okay, that piece is buried there. Here's some celestite. This stone is awesome. And it works for the hypothalamus gland and helping you with your understanding. The hypothalamus, all your metaphysical abilities go through it, okay? So, it can also calm down your energy in your head. Because why? It's understanding, a stone of understanding, and understanding does calm you down. So, here's a nice citrine point. Okay, focus, clarity, cleaning. Some of that might actually go in the healing spheres. Imagine that. Whatever you need is going to go into the sphere as far as stone energy. And while this body's still breathing and I'm still doing it physically, when I make a healing sphere for someone, I make it healing, but I also change it a little bit to make your own, for your own frequencies. When you want a personal sphere, that's different. Everything's made just personally for exactly what you need. This is some green chalcedony. Chalcedony, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm just trying to communicate with you. This stuff is awesome. I love it. It's because it's so nice and cold. My head, I'm always burning up. So that kind of helps me relax. It's like taking a cold rag and putting it on your head. And then, so it's very healing. It helps physically heal, but it soothes, relax, and all spiritually too. Star Essenite, activate everything, kick it up. This piece has been somewhat tumbled. It doesn't take the tumbling. It likes tumbling, but it doesn't polish. Sodalite. That's very good for your head while it's growing. You'll feel it in the head, though. Anyway, whatever. Stuff to help you. And then those spheres, like I said, you take those things, put them on next to you on the bed while you sleep, and they just keep cranking you up. They keep working on you. Your energy goes to them. When you want it, your energy goes to them, and then they work with you. Now, these max power spheres, they're strong. That energy comes out and goes right to you and touches you. And it's got a lot of star Essenite in it, dragon egg star Essenite. Okay? That stuff's powerful. Nothing stronger on the planet. So it reaches out to you and then starts generating more energy inside you. So I've called them metaphysical generators. They are. These are overalls. Whatever. T-shirts. cars, boats, bananas, trees. Everything is what it is. Just trying to understand what's happening and why. And the more you awaken, the better you do that, and the calmer your life is. But your happiness is nothing but the same or better. But you do lose a lot of your fear and anxiety. Personally, I think that's pretty cool. If you want to become awake, it's important. Anyway, folks, look, man, I love you. Hope that helps some of you. That's the intention, but either way, it has to be out there. So whoever can help will get the help they need, because they're trying to wake up and become themselves. And this is the right time to do it. It's always a good time, but it's never been as important as now. Everything's about to change. Love you, folks. Have a good one. Well, as always, I'm just in a video. Sorry, honey. Yeah, my voice kind of carries. Anyway, as per the usual case, there's always something I forget to say or something I realize I need to add to it. There'll be people out there that are wondering if they're making an adjustment on my brain and they're so benevolent and everything, talking about spirit. Why can't they do it more easily? God could do it, you know. No, sorry. Any source can do it properly, but when you're born, when you're in the process of being, when the actual physical being is in a process, of being created, that's when it's the DNA and everything else is manipulated for it to become what it is. You take the DNA is what it is, and then you manipulate it, and then you can produce the body. The original first being, mostly female, would produce the body that it wanted to build the vehicle for this other soul to be in. And you want to say for the soul to drive in, but honestly, it was the angels driving, not you. So that's why there's pressure on your head, the funny feeling in your gut. These are changes that are being done to you as you're an already existing body, not an embryo. That's why they're strong and hard. Gaia knows these bodies better than anyone else. But she does, she's been doing very good work on my head. I was talking with Deanna about that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the day before, I think it was yesterday though, about how it's strong, but it's smooth and I can feel it. It's just, sometimes let's just say I have to get in a relaxed mode so that she can, get more work done. But anyway, that's why it feels intense, because it is. If the original first being male and female, male or female, especially, any thought process you can think of as God, if they were to work on you while you're awake, doesn't matter who it is, you'd feel the same thing. That being said, add to that, lay on top of that the fact that no one ever ran bodies and manipulated the bodies, ran the lives, made and manipulated the bodies like the original first being male and female. So that's why you're feeling this now. It's time for folks to wake up. And it's being done while the body's already made. So, and those people that haven't been cranked up and all, folks, you have things that were done to your body to keep you from awakening. Okay, that's a very simple part of the crank up process. When you get cranked up, is removing all that. That's going to be slowly, softly taken away from you anyway. Not being given a crank up, but that what was done to you to keep you from waking up will be taken away. It's not quite time yet. Anyway, it was important that for some of you, it was important that you have that information. I don't care if it's one person, but I know it's not. I know it's a lot. Some people say, well, if they could do that, if there's this, enlightened being source or something, they should be able to do it easy. Why? Because that's a thought process you get from these religious books, false doctrines, or it's something you heard on the internet. Nah, that's not the truth of it. Your brain gets changed when you're already born. You feel it. Folks, love you, man. Have a good one.